15th, the Ides of March, famous date in history, is also a very significant date in the history of the Philadelphia underworld. This March 15th marks the 30th anniversary of the assassination of Philip Chicken Man Testa. Testa became the boss a year earlier after Angelo Bruno was assassinated, and Testa's assassination set the crime family careening out of control, and it's been a steady destabilization ever since then. Chicken Man Testa was an old-time mob boss, and one of the interesting things about his assassination is it was made to look as if the hit had come from the Roofers Union. In December of 1980, John McCullough, the Roofers Union boss, was killed in part of an internecine power struggle involving Atlantic City and South Philadelphia. Testa's murder was made to look like retaliation for the McCullough hit. He was literally blown through the front door of his house over at 21st and Porter by a bomb packed with nails. But it wasn't a bomb from the Roofers Union, it was a bomb sent by members of his own organization. His underboss, Pete Casella, and a capo, Frank Narducci, were identified as the primary movers behind that hit, and Rocco Marinucci, the young guy who set the bomb in motion, was ultimately killed a year later. The murder of Testa destabilized and opened the door for Nicky Scarfo to take over. Nicky Scarfo, the most psychotic and violent mob boss, not only in the history of Philadelphia, but probably in the history of the American Mafia. The Testa murder also was celebrated, probably the only mob hit ever celebrated in a rock and roll song.
Well, they blew up the Chicken Man in Philly last night. Now they blew up his house too.
Bruce Springsteen in the song Atlantic City has a line where he says, "They blew up the Chicken Man last night." The Chicken Man is Philip Chicken Man Testa. So the Ides of March is a very significant date historically for a lot of different reasons. And it also points to, for want of a better phrase, I guess, mob March madness in Philadelphia. March has been an interesting month in the history of the South Philadelphia mob. Angelo Bruno was assassinated on March 21st, 1980. John Stanford, the mob boss, and most of his associates, I think 25 individuals, were indicted and arrested on March 17th, 1994. In addition to that, 3 other mob bosses have birthdays in March. Ralph Natale's birthday is March the 6th, Nicodemo Little Nicky Scarfo's birthday is March the 8th, and Joey Merlino's birthday is March the 13th. Now, in addition to the Ides of March being a significant date in terms of the Testa murder, what we're being told is Joey Merlino, after serving almost 12 years in prison, is going to be released from jail this week, possibly on March 15th. He's heading for Florida. So March Madness, the mob month of March, continues to be significant in terms of events that happen. And while we sit here talking, we're waiting for yet another indictment. Might come this month in March, might come next month, where additional crime family members are supposedly being targeted in a racketeering case.